Hey guys, Nicola here from nicolamarin.com, and in this tutorial today I'm going to show you how to create your own blog post image templates with content upgrade previews in Picmonkey. Now, to go along with this tutorial, I've created some pre-designed for you templates that you can download and use to make the design process even easier for you. So if you haven't already, go ahead and download those, and you'll also notice that there is a PDF guide. So in this guide, I show you for each of the templates the exact settings that I've used for each of the elements in the design, so you can replicate this design yourself. And once you've done that, then you'll want to customize it to match your own brand color and fonts and brand styling, just so it all fits in with your brand. Okay, the other thing that you're going to need for this tutorial is a Picmonkey Royale account. Now, Picmonkey can be used for free, and that will be fine. You'll still be able to create these designs for free. It just means that at the end, you will not be able to save the design to the Picmonkey hub. I'll show you mine. Here it is. So I've got all my designs saved in here as templates. So you're going to want to save these designs as templates so that you can come back into your hub and then open up the template and be able to keep editing. You'll be able to click in and change the text. You can add new content upgrade previews. You can change the accent colors. You can change the background image, and then save the image straight to your computer, ready for upload on your website. If you don't have the Royale account, you won't have access to this hub. So I highly recommend making the investment. It's really pretty affordable at about, I think it works out to be about 63 Australian dollars per year. So I really think it's worth it. Okay, so let's start the tutorial. And the first thing you're going to want to do is open up your content upgrade document. I do mine in InDesign, but whatever program you've used, open it up. And we're going to take screenshots. So press Command Shift 4 and then just drag out the selection of where you would like the screenshot to be taken. So I'm just starting my selection just inside the black box around the edges of my page. And then when you're happy with the selection, just let go and it takes the screenshot for you. So you're going to want to repeat that process for each of the pages that you're going to include in the preview. And then we're going to head back on over to Picmonkey and then open up our Finder, and we're going to grab our first screenshot and just drag it over and drop it where it says drop image to edit. And now we're going to add the drop shadow. So to do that, we're going to come over here to the frames palette, and then I don't know what it's doing here. Oh, okay. We're back. And then hit drop shadow. Now you're going to want to change these settings because we actually want to make this shadow really kind of big and look a little bit obnoxious, because this image is actually going to be a tiny little thumbnail on our blog post image, and we want to actually be able to see the shadow at such a small size. So we're going to change the distance to 15, the angle to 45, the size to 20, and we're going to fade it out to 65, just so it's a little bit more subtle. And then we're going to hit transparent background so that we can put it on top of our blog post image, and then hit apply. Now you want to save this image to your computer, and here you just type in the file name, so content upgrade, and followed by the page number, and you'll understand later on in this tutorial why you want to do this. Now I'm also going to change the dimensions because we really don't need this file to be this big. It's just going to waste up space on our computer, and it's only going to be a tiny little thumbnail on our blog post. So I'm going to change the dimensions to 100, and it will automatically change the second dimension for me. and then hit save to my computer. And then you can just find where you want to save it, what folder, and then hit save. Okay, so you want to repeat that process for the remaining pages in your preview, and then you will be ready to start designing the blog post image. So go back on over to your Finder and grab the photo that you want to use for your background for the blog post image, and again just drag it on over to open it up in Picmonkey. So the first thing we want to do is resize and crop this image so that it is at the optimum dimensions for Pinterest. So we're going to come down to the bottom tab down here and resize, and we're going to change the dimensions in this last box so that it is at the image is at the correct height for Pinterest. So we're going to type in 1102. Actually, on Pinterest, height doesn't matter so much, but this just seems to be the standard height that people use. So then we're going to hit apply, and then we're going to head up to the crop button and crop this in a portrait orientation. So we're going to type in this first box, 735 by 1102. Now you can just click and drag over where you want the image to be cropped, and when you're happy, hit apply. Okay, now it's time to add the templates, one of the templates that I've created for you. So you're gonna come on over to the butterfly and then hit the add your own, and I am going to select this first one. You can use whichever one you like. Hit open, and then I'm just going to resize it. So just drag out the bottom corner here like so, and there you go. Okay, so now basically what we're going to be doing is just tracing this design, and then at the end we're going to delete this image from our design altogether so you won't see it. So the first thing we'll do is add the white rectangle. So we hit the geometric shapes and then select the rectangle, and that's just going to add in a rectangle for us. And so that we can see the template through, we're going to fade out by just using this slider so we can see what's going on behind. And then you're just going to drag it up to the top left hand corner, and then drag out the bottom right hand corner to resize. Now I'm just going to overlap slightly with the purple, just so that I know that there won't be any accidental gaps in between the two shapes once we've put them both there. Okay, so you may have noticed that there was like this like weird sort of like, it starts like going transparent at the top. That is because there is also this color 1 is like a border color, and you can see what happens when you add the color and you've sort of changed the dimensions of the shape. It makes the border like funny dimensions as well. So if you want a border, you want to keep the shape in the same dimensions as what it's added, but we don't want a border, so it's fine. Okay, that was just a bit of a side note. All right, the next thing we're going to do is add this purple bar at the bottom. Now you could use the rectangle again, but I'm actually going to show you how to do it with a square, because one of my other templates uses a triangle, and you're going to want to stretch and change the proportions of the triangle. But when you just add a square or a triangle or like the pentagon or anything like that, it automatically, when you resize it, just keeps the proportions. So let's just quickly fade out that square, bring it down to the bottom. And now to change the proportions of any shape, except for the rectangle, which does this automatically, you hold down shift and then you drag out to where you want your shape to go. Okay, I'm just going to zoom in using this little plus button down the bottom. Can't talk. so that I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to select this again. Just, yeah, just a little bit filly. Oh, see what happens? I forgot to hold down the shift. So you're good. Make sure you hold down the shift while you do it. Okay, there you go. Done. Going to zoom back out. Now we want to add the text. So we'll head up to the text palette. Now, this is one of the reasons why I love Picmonkey so much, is because in this Yours tab, it automatically accesses all of the fonts that you have installed on your computer, and this is going to be really important when you're customizing this template to match your own brand styling. If you don't have the brand fonts that are, if Picmonkey, sorry, doesn't have them, then you're going to need to access them from your computer. For this tutorial, I just used some Picmonkey fonts. So the first font was this Futura Medium, which you can see is only a Royale feature because of this little crown. And I'm going to hit add. I'm going to just drag in the sides of this text box to line up roughly with the edges of the rectangle. And then I'm going to click into the box and start typing. I'm going to put caps lock on. Your amazing blog post title goes here. Now I want to style this text, so I'm going to highlight it. The first thing I'm going to do is change the color, because you already know what your brand colors are, hopefully. You can just type in the hex color value. So I'm going to type in 404040 up there, hit enter. Then I'm going to center the text down here, and I'm going to change the size. You can use this slider or the drop down to change the size. I know what I'm changing it to, so I'm just going to type it in, 60. Then I'm just going to click the edge of this box. Oh, deselected it anyway. Now I want to just move. Oh no, I'm not having luck today. Okay, there we go. Just move the box over where the text is in our template, and you can use the arrow keys on your keyboard as well to make like tiny little adjustments. Okay, now to add the subtitle, we're going to duplicate this text box by right-clicking. Right-clicking and duplicating the text box and taking it down. Actually, if you have trouble selecting one of the elements that you're trying to edit on the page, come down to the bottom to this layers palette, and then you can find the layer you want to edit and select it in here. So that's a really good tip. Okay, so let's click inside the text box. We're going to type in our subtitle. Subtitle goes here. Now let's change the styling. Highlight it again. You can change the font. I'm also going to make it italic, and I'm going to change it to 45. Now the reason why I duplicated the text box instead of creating a new one is because the color was already set up. So that's kind of just like a little hack to save you a little bit of time. Okay. You can see sometimes it gets a bit glitchy. And what I just did there, I undid. I just kind of did that without thinking. Just Command Z will undo what just happened, or you can use these arrows down the bottom. Okay, so that looks about right there. Okay. And now the last one we want to add is the website URL down the bottom. So again, let's right click, duplicate text because it's already the right font for us. Drag it down the bottom and then type in your website name. Obviously it's not going to be your website. And let's highlight and change this size down to 20, and we're going to change the color to white. So you can just drag the color up in this color picker area up to white, or type in 6Fs. And then just click off that and then click back on, nope. Okay, let's select it in the layers palette because it's quite small and hard to click, and just move it over to wherever it needs to be. You can probably zoom in. I'm just kind of trying to do this quickly. That looks about right. Okay, now let's add the content upgrade preview. So we're going to head back to the overlays palette and we're going to add our own up the top here. So this is why you want to name the pages with the page number so we can add them in the correct order. We're going to want to add them in the reverse order so they stack properly in the image. So start with the last page first. Okay, I'm going to just zoom right on in here so I can see, and then you're going to line it up with the edge corner, the left edge, right edge corner, and resize. Okay, it looks about like that. Yep. Good enough. It doesn't need to be exact. Okay. And then we're going to add the second page. Oh, it's made it smaller this time. Okay, that's good to know. Zoom right in and it'll make it smaller for you. Kind of makes it easier. So line it up the right top edge, and then we're going to drag it out to the bottom left edge. It's about there. Okay, deselect. That looks like it needs to be. So I've just used my arrow keys there. And it looks like it needs to be just a little bit bigger. There you go. Okie doke. And add the first page. Okay, so you can be a little bit more careful and precise with this. I'm just trying to do this quickly because it's kind of boring to watch me faff around with this. So yeah, and there you go. So now we just want to add the arrow. So scroll down, still in the overlays palette, to the correction marks and select this last arrow here on the top line. And we're going to move it on over here, and then this white circle up the top and this like swivel icon comes up. You're going to just click and hold and then just rotate your arrow. And let's resize. Ooh. Okay. It's not quite precise, but you know, it doesn't really matter. It's good enough. Alright, and then we're going to change the color. So you're going to type in your accent color value up the top here. So C232C6 is my color value. And then we're done. So now we can zoom out and we're ready to delete this background template here. So in the layers palette, it goes from the most recent thing that you've added to the first thing that you added. So you're going to scroll down to the bottom until you find the first image, and that's going to select this image behind, and then you're just going to hit this trash can and delete, and voila. Okay, now we're almost there. Let's just change the color of these rectangles and we're done. So we're going to hit color 2 and we're going to change that to white. You can select that over here on the edge, and we're going to take the fade down to 0. You can make the fade, have it faded a little bit if you like. Feel free to customize it, make it your own. And then I'm going to type in my accent color for the bar at the bottom and take the fade down once again. And there you have it. That is your blog post your blog post image with content upgrade preview template done. So to save it to your hub, you're going to want to come up here and click add to hub. Type in the name of the template that you want to save it as and then click add. I won't do this because it actually takes a little bit of time to do that. And then you'll have your template saved. And so anytime you want to use your template, I will just quickly show you how to do that. You're going to come to Picmonkey, go to edit, and then go to your hub and open from hub. And then you're going to select whichever template you would like to use. So let's do this one. And you'll hit open. So you can come in here, make any of the changes that you want, change the text, anything. And then once you're ready, you can then save the image to your computer so that you can then upload it to your website. Type in the file name. I recommend using Roger as the quality setting. It is the lowest resolution and the lowest file size, which is fine for web. And it just means that the files, you're going to keep your file sizes smaller and not clog your website up with really large files and have a slow loading website. So that is what I would recommend. So I'm not going to save this because I don't actually need to, but that's how you would go about doing it once you've got your blog post image. And then you can either just X out of that and it's not going to actually change this in the hub. But if for any reason you did want to save this particular blog post feature image that you've just created in your hub, you're going to go update in hub. Then you're going to type in a new title. So you probably type in your blog post name title as the file title. And then you'll hit make a copy. Now this is really important because if you don't select make a copy, it is going to update the original file and change your template. So always make sure that you make a copy if you're saving to your hub from one of your templates. Okay guys, that is it. Now you know how to create your own blog post feature image templates with content upgrade previews in Picmonkey. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial, and if so, I would love it if you shared it with your friends, and I can't wait to see you in the next tutorial.